Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kashawn Hopkins. I'm an instructional technology specialist from Oklahoma Public School Resource Center. And today in this Tech Talk, I'm going to talk about Screencastify. It gives you the ability to create videos using whatever is on your screen. So lots of really great uses for that, in particular, like creating instructional content. But you can also put this tool in the hands of your students as well, because it works really nicely with anything that has uses kind of the Chromium browser in there. So we'll talk more about that in a bit, but let me reach out to my colleague. He's joining us here today. I'll let him introduce himself.
Hello, I'm Kurt Bernhardt. I'm the Director of Technology for OPSRC, and Kashawn and I make up the tech team here. If you ever need any help with any technology issues, just reach out to us.
And really quick, Kurt, before you mute, can you remind me really quick? I know I've already forgotten which browsers does Chrome?
It's also Microsoft Edge and Brave.
Brave, that's the one. I couldn't remember that one. Yes, thank you, Kurt. I appreciate that.
No
and
problem.
Of course, Google Chrome. Cool. If you want to reach out to us, you can do so at techteam@opsrc.net, right up here. I have a link to the slides as usual. These are case sensitive, so lowercase t period ly / uppercase f lowercase x 1 and 2. So those four right over there. That should get you the slides. Additionally, if you got to this, especially if you're watching the recording, you can get this and all the slides at opsrc.net/tech talks. I'll have a link at that at the very end. Yeah, you can have access to Screencastify. So you can kind of see what the end product looks like here. I have a nice little video demo. So let me open that up. And let's give that a listen, and fingers crossed that I have the sound working. We'll see. Hello, I'm doing a really quick recording just to show off Screencastify. I'm going to show you how to get to Google Docs from google.com. So what you want. All right, so one of the things that you can do is you can insert short multiple choice questions. It's not super robust, but hey, it does bring in just a little bit of interactivity instead of people passively learning from videos, so they can answer it. And if you require them to log in, you can have those answers recorded, which is really super cool. All right, let's keep going. What you want to do is go to the top right-hand corner. I'm just going to do one thing that I do want to point out that I've just messed with. Oh, you can't see it because I've blocked this, but as soon as I unpause this, you can see that there's a little toolbar of a bunch of little tools that you can use while you're recording. So kind of cool. It's going to be on the bottom left. A quick drawing of this little 3x3 icon over there that lets you access a lot of Google apps. I'm going to click on that. All you have to do is scroll all the way down to where it says Docs. You'll see the icon, real easy. You'll left click it. And now you can access your Google Docs. Fantastic. Hello. All right. Thank you, past version of me. Fantastic job. Don't quit your day job. Let's keep it going. No, I wouldn't do that. I like working for OPSRC. It's awesome. Okay. So that is what you get out of Screencastify. Just real easy, be able to put together as long as you have the hardware for it. Really, you don't even really need a webcam. In fact, you don't even need a microphone. You could just record your screen. Of course, it's a lot better if you do have those things because you can add your face, make it a little more personal. You can add a little bit of voiceover on there. So real awesome and real easy to use. And I'll show you how to do that. So what are we doing here? Just to kind of go over schedule, I have my intro that we just did and the schedule I'm doing right now, followed by my objectives, just some opening business to get out of the way. I just want to let you know kind of what you're getting to before you start watching the TED Talk, before we dive in. Next, we'll talk about integrating technology. I usually do this part on my technology talks, just so I can set like a foundation, because I don't think it's, whenever you're integrating technology, like the tool isn't as important as like how you implement the tool. Like there's always some kind of purpose behind it. And I want to make sure that you're armed with what you need to implement technology. And I'm going to do it through these little integrating technology sections here. So next, I'll do an overview of the tool, just give you an idea of what features are out there and some things you should be aware of. Then I will spend a majority of this time doing a showcase for the tool. Then we'll do some tool applications. We'll combine the integrating technology portion with what I showed you with the tool into some what would this tool look like in your classroom type deals. And then at the very end, we'll wrap up. I'll share some links. I call them goodie pages, a link to the evaluation, and answer any questions that I might have. So that's the schedule. Let's jump on in, everybody. First of all, my objective here after this training, teachers will be able to integrate Screencastify in their classroom to create and develop videos to help students achieve their learning goals right there. So kind of the main parts, being able to create and develop videos, and helping students achieve their learning goals. Remember that the main purpose, all of this is going to be student-centered. So the main purpose behind that is that students are the ones that are getting something out of this tool at the end of the day. So please keep that in mind as we design and we implement. Let's talk a little bit about technology integration for just a moment here. I'm going to lay down the foundation here. So how to integrate technology can be answered in a bunch of different ways. There's lots of lovely little frameworks that can help you, help kind of prime you into designing the way that technology is going to be used in your classroom. And there's a bunch of different frameworks out there, you know, TPAC, SAMR are some of the popular ones. The one that I wanted to highlight just a little bit for this time is the technology integration matrix on here. It's created by the Florida Center for Instructional Technology. This is on its 3rd edition. And the basic idea is whenever you're integrating a technology, no matter what it is, you can take a look at 5 characteristics of meaningful learning environments. And you can when you take a look at those characteristics and then implement the tool, you can implement it in 5 different levels. So it creates this lovely little matrix, and you can decide when you look back at your classroom and how a piece of technology is being used, you can decide like what level it's going to be at, and then try to take it one step above, because the higher the level, the further you get out from left to right, the more complex, the more involved your technology use, and ideally the more that your students are going to get out of that technology tool there. But just to break this down just a little bit more, because I'm talking a little bit in abstracts there, is the 5 characteristics of integrating technology, starting from the top and working my way down. There's the active part, which is how much does this tool get your students to engage with the material there? Is it on one end of the spectrum? Are they passively receiving the information? Or on the other end of the spectrum, are they using this tool in kind of like a fully realized way where their choices matter in terms of their education? Collaborative, how well does this tool help connect students together, and not just necessarily students, but also you know, connect with you or connect with people outside of the classroom. Constructive, how well does the tool help a student connect old information to new information? Authentic, how well does the tool connect the content that they're getting in the classroom to like a wider context, like a career or in post-secondary education? And then goal directed, how well does the tool help students plan and meet their goals? So kind of a cool way to think about it. And then there's different levels, which I'll save for another time. I think that's at least for right now a good base level understanding, and I'll come back to this once we get a little bit more under our belt on what Screencastify is about. So a little overview with Screencastify. First of all, it is a Chrome extension that records, edits, and shares videos by recording the screen on there. Quite useful if you're trying to do some sort of demonstration, I think is a really good way of seeing that. A couple of things I could do for your classroom. Something that you should definitely keep in mind is the recording cap. Whenever you record a video, always keep in mind 5 minutes is where you're going to be at for your limit. Unless you do, I'm talking kind of like the free version on here whenever I'm talking about these features on here. So all of this is available for free. You just have to keep those limitations in mind. And this 5-minute cap also includes projects, which is you can bring in multiple video clips into one thing and splice them together and edit them, but they can't exceed that 5-minute limit. So keep that in mind. Another feature is the fact that you can record in multiple, don't want to mess that up. multiple ways. You can record specifically on a tab, which is good for like security reasons. If you have multiple tabs or there's something on your computer that you don't want to share, you can do record a tab and get around that. Right now, you could do recording on a desktop, which allows you to switch between videos really easily. Or sorry, tabs and screens really easily. And then you can also record the webcam as well if you want to add kind of like a personal touch. It's always nice to see a person if you're feeling comfortable with that when you're doing a recording, particularly for your students as well. It's good to see your teacher in there and just bring kind of like that human element to the education there. Next is in recording drawing tools. You saw a little bit of that, and I'll show that in the showcase a bit more. This is Chromebook friendly since Chromebook uses Google Chrome, but keep in mind you can also use Brave and Microsoft Edge as well. Anything that uses those works really nice with Screencastify. You can do video assignments as well, where you set up an assignment and students reply back with videos they've created using Screencastify. So super cool way to use that. It supports flipped classroom, which means you create, for those who don't know, you create videos and content. Students view the content before they get in the class, and then you can spend a majority of the class time doing applications. So I think this is a good tool for that. And as far as storing videos, because videos can get a little big, even if they're just 5-minute videos, once you start storing a lot of them, it gets a little cumbersome. But since you can store them directly into the Google Drive, there's support for that directly inside of Screencastify because you have to log in using a Google account. Everything's stored in the Google Drive, so really nice. All that stuff is taken care of for you. And if you want to get started, a great place to do it would be at screencastify.com. If you want to follow along and install it on there, I'm going to start from the very beginning, which is installing Screencastify on there and then logging in and getting yourself set up. So we'll come back to these slides, but I'm going to go to screencastify.com over here. I already got the tab up. And I want to get myself going. So bottom left-hand corner of my main screen that I have here is I can add to Chrome. It's free. I'm going to click that big old blue button. It even has a little pointer down over there. Let me click on that. I'm taken to the Chrome Web Store page where I can click on where it says add to Chrome on here. Let me do that. So it's adding an extension on here, and I'm just going to confirm that. Shouldn't take all too long on here. And the process is very similar if you're doing it on a Chromebook. If it's done, you'll see up here, get a little confirmation like pop-up window. It even lets you know that there is a hotkey to turn this icon on and use it. I wanted to show this part of the process for those who are unfamiliar with it, because after you close that window, you'll notice that the Screencastify button is gone. But if it's something that I plan on using regularly, it might be a good idea to pin it on your browser. That means you'll always see it up there. Like you can see my URL shortener and my Zoom icon up there. So I'm going to go up to this little jigsaw piece at the top right-hand corner where it says extensions. I'm going to left click it. And then I'm going to go down where it says Screencastify and click the little thumbtack button and click choose to pin it. There we go. Now I see it at all times. Even if I click somewhere else, I can see the recording on there and get it started. Okay, so now I've installed it. I'm going to log in real quick. It's going to ask me to do that anyway when I open it up and use it for the first time, but I'm going to show you how to do it from the website itself. So I'm going to go up to the top right-hand corner, click my account. And oh, I'm already logged in. Great, awesome. Well, just keep in mind that you're going to log in with your Gmail account, whatever account that you use on that one. So if you have your work email attached to kind of like a Gmail account, you can do that through here. So it makes it really easy for students to be able to log in their own accounts as well. So yeah, so this is a view that you can access some of your clips and things from the website itself. But I actually just want to start recording. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a real quick clip for you guys and ladies. So if you ever want to get started, you're going to go to the top right-hand corner, click on the Screencastify button up there that I've pinned. It's going to give you some choices. Oh, it's logging me in. Yeah, cool. I see that. Awesome. My other recordings. That's great. let me open up a page here. Great, awesome. So now I'm going to open up Screencastify. And here comes the different choices down over here. So starting from the top, working my way down, I have the browser tabs. Like I said before, if you only want to record using a single tab, because like you don't want to see somebody, you don't want to show any extra information that you don't normally want to show on there, browser tab is the way to go. The default view is desktop. It's probably the most flexible one that you can use on here. And then there's webcam only. If you just kind of want to do a direct address to the audience there, you can make that happen. Okay, sorry, give me a second. I'm moving around my Zoom stuff. It's getting in the way for me on my end. You can't see that though. I'm going to do a quick desktop one. You can see, so moving my way down, you can adjust the microphone, so you could turn it off and on, and it even does a test on the sound here. You can see as I'm talking, the little meter is going up and down. That's so fun. Or you could click the drop down menu and switch if you have multiple microphones connected on here. I'm using my Yeti audio at the moment. I can also choose to embed webcam, so I can combine screen recording with the webcam recording. I'm going to take down, so this doesn't interfere with my Zoom call, I'm going to take it down on my end and then click embed webcam, and we'll see me on here. Super cool. Then I'm going to enable drawing tools on here. So this big old button. For the first time, it does ask to have permission to use those drawing tools, because you're making, you know, you're making annotations on there. So you want to make sure that you allow that. Oh, close my window. Sorry. But once you've done that, you don't have to do it again. And then you can just click record on here. So let's do that. Let's record and do a little bit of recording. Whenever you set up your record, right when you click record, you'll get this little pop-up. It's asking you how you want to share. Oh, and you can see me in the corner. Hey, I feel like Brady Bunch. This is awesome. But how you want to share the contents of your screen. Since I'm doing the entire screen, I'm just going to click this space with the window that you can see over here. The reason why it's like this is if you have multiple monitors connected together, you'll have multiple choices here. But since I'm using a single monitor setup, yeah, I only have one option on here. So that's why I'm doing this. And as soon as you click share, you're going to hear a countdown. It's going to count 3, 2, 1 using pings, and then it's going to get the recording started. So let's do this. Awesome. So now I'm recording at the moment. Nothing too exciting, but I can see at the very bottom of my page, Screencastify, it is sharing my screen. I can stop sharing. Once I click stop sharing, it's going to end the recording there. So on the bottom left-hand corner, I have a little toolbar that I can mess with here. So let me click the pause recording button, so it doesn't record this entire thing of me just talking about Screencastify. But it's kind of nice that you're able to do that. There are hotkeys on there. If you hover over any of the Screencastify buttons, it'll tell you what that button does and in parentheses what the hotkey is. So if I press Alt-Shift-P, that will resume and pause the recording, so you don't have to like always reach back into that toolbox. There's always these little buttons, these little hotkeys on here. So let me display a couple of the tools that are down here that you can take advantage of. One of the ones that I really love is the mouse pointer. If you're recording something and you make a click, you can even click and hold. It will put a little circle on there. And it's so nice, especially if you're looking at a page with tons of information on it, just to be able to direct people. I'm used to recording like instructional videos. So I'm usually like, yeah, in the top right-hand corner up there. I try to like signal using some of my voice, but sometimes it's just really great to have that visual stimulus mixed in there as well, just to kind of direct the eye and help make those connections for your users, just make it a little bit easier over there. Some other tools, starting from the left, working my way to the right, is the pen tool, Alt-P, if you want to use that as well. You can make some drawings on here. So I could say like, oh yeah, the news button is right there. Or I could change my color and say, oh yeah, the periods buttons right there. So really nice. You got a couple of choices down here. So it's really cool that you're able to do that. Once you're done, you can click clear screen, boom, and get rid of all that stuff. No problem. And once you're ready to change the tool, because I can't see it on the tools here, you click the back button over here. So it's still on the toolbar and I click it, it has a little pointer. Next is like a shape tool. You can spit out rectangles. So once again, you can change colors and you just click and drag and it will make a nice little box on here. That way you don't have to draw it out. What else we got? We got stickers. We got some fun little emojis. So if things are going well, boom, boom, boom. Give the old thumbs up, or for celebrating, pat, pat, pat. So cool little stickers just to bring a little bit of personality in there. It's just always nice to be able to do that kind of stuff in there. Then of course you got your eraser tool. If you're going to be able to create, you also need to be able to destroy on here. So yeah, you can do the erasers. And of course, don't forget, you can always click the clear screen. It's available on all the tools there. And if you want to end the webcam, like for example, if you're doing a Zoom call and the webcams are interfering with each other, you have the stop webcam button. That way I can open this back up on Zoom. Hey, now I'm back in my comfy chair. So yeah, those are the in recording tools. I think they're super useful that you're able to jump in there, particularly like the mouse buttons on here. It's just great that you can do that. Additionally, if you click on the mouse button, you can do other kinds of focus like pointer focus. So that's cool. Got the classic view with just the regular pointer, and then you have fireworks. Woo, that's fun. But I just like leaving it on clicks. I think clicks is probably the good one here. All right. Once you have everything ready, I'm going to press stop recording, or like I said before, you can always click the stop share button. It does the same thing. It will open up a separate window here. That's great. You can't hear any sound, but you can, if you press the Screencastify, it'll turn that on, but I'm not going to mess with that right now. Cool. It's always fun seeing yourself on a video while you're recording a video, seeing yourself. So super awesome. So let's talk about a little bit what's going on this page. At the very top left-hand corner, I have the title up there. I highly recommend that you change it. But sometimes the date's nice, but sometimes, you know, you just want to give it a little something, something. I might even leave the date up there and just say Tech Talks Test. I don't know. It's always fun to have a little iteration on there. Press enter. And when you do that, it even changes the name on the Google Drive where it's being saved. So something I wasn't able to point out, but when you log in to Screencastify for the first time, it's going to ask you permission to have access to your Google Drive. Make sure to authorize that. That way your videos are going to go there. Yeah, if you don't like the recording on the video, go ahead and click that trash can icon. It'll delete the video. You'll start again. So not a problem. Give yourself another shot. Something that we don't have enough time now, but maybe another time we'll reach back into Screencastify. We'll do a little bit more, is the editing suite on here. If you click open in editor, it has a little editing suite in here. So we have a timeline at the bottom on here that you can scrub through. You can cut, crop, zoom, blur, excuse me, add title and text in there, or completely delete sections. Or on the right-hand side, you can click plus add media, throw in title, throw in extra videos, upload things into it, zoom in and out on the window to make it a little bit easier to scrub through the timeline. So there's some really cool stuff. It's not like a robust Adobe Premiere suite, but at the very least, I think you can do some basic edits on there within that 5-minute window on there. So real nice. And then you can click export and export it out. So really cool stuff on here. We'll explore this more another time. Let's see, what else do we got here? On the bottom left, you can scrub through your video just so you have an idea of what's going on in there. You can do full screen, or you can adjust the sound as well. So if you don't hear sound, make sure on the very bottom of the screen down over here. Man, I wish I really had the clicker feature on here, but that's fine. You can see on the bottom in the middle part of my screen, slightly to right, is that sound button that I'm clicking on. So make sure you have that in mind. And, you know, there might just be a chance that you forgot to record using your audio in there. That's happened to me. I'm sorry. It sucks when it happens, but just, you know, try to check that stuff before you record. All right. One of the things, kind of a big thing that I need to show off, is on the right-hand side over there, we have different ways to share your video. Of course, the easiest one would be to copy the share link. You click on that, and then you can open up, I don't know. Oh, wait, nope, that's not. Just the notepad on there. So when I paste this out, it will paste out the link on there. And I should have just did it over here. That way you can see that the video has an embedded player on there. So just to view the video, you don't have to have a Screencastify account. You can just share that link. Now, there are other ways to share this out, like, for example, through Gmail. You can generate QR codes. One really nice thing is if you're using Google Classroom already, if you could just click on that, you can share to any one of your classrooms. You just select one of them, select an action. So you could pair this as a part of an assignment. You can ask a question. You can make an announcement. You can add this as a material under your topics list. So yeah, if I want to make an announcement, I click go. And then it opens up that page and links that Screencastify video. So super nice if you're like, hey, everybody, make sure that you watch this video before we get into class next Friday. Awesome stuff. You can do that through there. So really great things that you can do there. Cool integration. And then that's not the only integration. If you click the plus sign, you can see other tools that Screencastify is already linked up with. So things like Wakelet, Remind, Edpuzzle, PlayPosit, Screencastify plays nicely with. So really great that you have that if you already use those tools. A few last things down over here. I won't go more into detail, but there's a way to see who is viewing your videos up here. You can also add in interactive questions through that button as well. And then at the very bottom, you can export. So if you want to do other things to your videos, you can. If you click export video, you can shoot it straight to YouTube through your Google account, or you could download the file or export it as an MP4 or GIF if you really want to do that. There are some options down there, so explore that. Or you could shoot it over the Google Drive as well, copy a drive link and then send it to somebody. You can adjust the permissions on there if you'd like, or you can view it directly inside of the drive, which I forgot to mention. Top of my screen, if I click show share settings, a little bit of a tongue twister there for me, so I had to slow it down. If you click on that right below the copy share link, by default, anybody with the link can view this video, but you can also edit that if you want like restricted access. So something that you can do is switch from anyone with this link to anyone in my organization, and then specify email domains. So keep in mind, there are some restrictions on it, or you could set it to private. All right, that is enough for now. Oh, one thing that I do think is probably worth showing is I'm going to go to Google Drive real quick. So you can see, someone might ask, where do my videos actually go? And I do a recording of them. Whenever you set up Screencastify and give permission for Screencastify to have access to your Google Drive, it will create a folder literally labeled Screencastify that you can go into. And you can see all the lovely videos that you've created. Additionally, if you log into Screencastify through the website, it'll open us up back on this dashboard. You can click on the very first option where it says record. I'm going to click on that. And then it says open my recordings, and you'll see a list of all the videos that you have here, and you can go and edit them after the fact. All right. I feel like my Zoom windows are like in the way today, but that's okay. All right, let us wrap some things up. I want to just talk a little bit about Screencastify applications. We call this activity a move up a level, because really you just take a look and see, okay, where am I at using this tool in a specific characteristic, and see if you could bump yourself up from one to the next. I'm going to do that with the active characteristic from the technology integration matrix. If you want a full view of this, I've included a link in there. But yeah, on the active characteristic, for those who don't know, just to give another definition, this is pulled from the matrix itself. Students are engaged in using technology as a tool rather than passively receiving information from the technology. So nothing wrong being at the entry level phase. In fact, if you've never used a tool before, entry is probably the best place to start because it matches your students' needs at the time. And so the entry level way of using, so a recommendation from me to you is just to record a summary of the lesson and let students view it before class. So this is kind of leaning on those flipped classroom principles that I was talking about a little before. Introduce the idea first, students watch it, you confirm a way that they watched it. Maybe I have them answer some questions at the beginning of class, have them do some kind of formative assessment. There's ways to add that in there. And that's a good way to just get students comfortable with in engaging with this tool on there. On a basic level, they're just getting the information from the tool there, and that's perfectly fine, I think. But after a couple of uses, maybe you want to bump that up to the next level. So this is where the matrix comes into play a little bit more in here. It gives you an idea of what would be the next stage here. So the adoption stage is characterized by procedural use of the tool. So you're giving this tool, putting it into the student's hand and saying, okay, we're going to use it in these very specific ways. So something that I recommend is having students record and submit in a video assignment to show what they've learned. You give them some kind of prompt, give them just something specific, like if you're in a math class, I want you to show me, just work this problem out step by step, explaining all your steps on here. You got to get it in the 5 minutes in there so students understand limitations. Or if you're in an English class, I want you to find a website, and I want you to just describe why it's a good website and connects to the book that we've been reading. Something really simple that students can get comfortable using the tool, and this gives you an idea of what students are going to be comfortable with this tool and what students are going to be like experts, and you can leverage that leadership that you might have in them, that skill you can cultivate in there, and you can maybe have students work and help with each other. You might be able to have them collaborate on videos, something like that. But this is just focusing on the active portion of using this tool, just putting it in the student's hand. And then lastly, the adaptation level, so bringing it just one step beyond that. So this is characterized by independent use. So students have already a clear idea on how the tools being used in very specific ways, but now you're giving them a little bit more responsibility on how it's going to be used. So in this case, I recommend them putting together and edit a project made of multiple clips and build some kind of story. You're giving them like a sort of open-ended prompt out there, and you're saying, okay, here's something that I want you to try to achieve. Maybe we've learned something, like you're trying to get them to present the main idea of the unit that you just went over, but you're going to let them choose what they're going to record, what resources they're going to bring in, let them create using this tool, and then have them figure out kind of what their strengths are and what their limitations are. So there's a few applications for you right there, just a few steps, starting from the entry, going up to adoption, and ending with adaptation, and maybe beyond, if this is a tool that works out for your classroom. Okay, first of all, thank you so much, everybody. I do appreciate it. I am a little bit over time, but it's all right for right now. If you do have to go, that's fine, but for right now, let's wrap things up. Last couple of pages are dedicated to some links on here that I think are going to be useful to you if you want to extend your learning on this one. Screencastify actually has a lot of really good resources out there. Like, for example, the very first one is Screencastify University. These include courses with certifications that I think are going to be really useful, like the Excellent Editor course on here. The thing that I want to point out here is they have a course called Master Screencast Junior. That is made exclusively for students. So if you don't feel comfortable, or if you just think it's a really good resource, you think you just want to be able to reinforce the students that really could use some help getting used to this tool, there's a class for that, and it's really short, so take advantage of that. So yeah, other links that are really great that I think are worth your time. I've included a technology integration page on here. At the very top, I put Tim, the technology integration matrix, because that's the tool that I highlighted here, but there are other ones down there like TPAC. I think the ISTE standards are worth looking at, particularly for students. And yeah, there's some just great resources in there that I think you should take a look at. And then finally, my last page, huge thank you. Apologize about the time. I'll be better about it next time. But yeah, I got my evaluation link on there. Just as a reminder, I've been Kashawn Hopkins. I'm joined here with Karen Bernhardt. Together, we make the technology team, which you can reach out at techteam@opsrc.net. If you like what you've heard here, I have some buttons for social media on here. Redesign this page a little bit. Speaking of redesigns, if you go to opsrc.net/tech talks, you can see our lovely page has gone through a wonderful visual redesign on here. So we have the upcoming tech talks. You don't want to miss out on those. We have the button for suggesting future tools, and we have our archive tech talks broken down into the technology standards section, integration model section, and individual tech tools section. So yeah, check that stuff out. There's some great stuff in there. But for right now, I just want to say one last thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll take questions now.